I just gotta reveal this set on this one. I really like this one. You got Jerry the King Lawler, you got Michael Cole, you got Booker T, there's our commentary, and there's John Cena. You can't have a show without John Cena, God forbid. And then right behind it, you see just peeking out there is Big Show waiting to make his next heel turn. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wrestling Wednesdays. I'm your host, as always, J Beard Stereo. I feel like it's been a little while. Tonight we're gonna do something different. We're gonna do WWE Raw for the date of April 25th, 2016. Last night's Raw. I'm filming this on Tuesday. Yeah, this show, I had a feeling, we all had a feeling, there was rumors going around that Balor might debut, and they even played with them in a really shitty way, in my opinion. And I'll get to that in a second. Tonight's show surprisingly opened up with a China memoriam, and I know they always usually do a rest in peace, but I didn't think we were gonna get like a major in memoriam to her, and we did later in the show, and it was really beautiful. And look, if all you know from China is the stuff that's been happening recently, go change that. You have a whole network to do so. When they say she pioneered the women's division, she really, really did. The next thing we get is a opening segment, something we've been not missing over the past few weeks on Raw. Raws have been slightly different in the past few weeks, which is another reason I wanted to do this. They've been very NXT superstar heavy. They've been very in the face, flying in the face of the way that Raw used to work. I like it. It's good. It's been great. This opening segment felt like it went on for too long. It just didn't feel good. It felt awkward. It felt weirdly paced. Shane throws the crowd off with the whole... He even has to get them pumped again. Now, the segment itself wasn't horrible. That's the thing. I'm probably... Because I got a little spoiled on the last few episodes, I think this one just felt off. The banter... Basically, he banters with Steph about control of the company, even though, once again, the match with Taker at Mania... Everyone's been saying this. The match with Taker at Mania should have been for... Well, it was for control of the company. It should have mattered. He shouldn't have gotten the company, Shane, despite me loving how this has been going. He didn't win. He didn't do the stipulation. You set a stipulation, and then the next night, Vince proclaims, well, fuck it! And he gives him the control of the company. I don't like that. That's not good storytelling. But they're bantering over or control of the company. We haven't seen Steph in a little while. It was nice to see her music hit. I was like, oh, Stephanie! And then the segment started, and I'm like, this is why I didn't want to see you these past few weeks. And I love Stephanie, I do. This recent incarnation is just so obnoxious, it's so bad, it's just not... There's no payoffs, it's the slap queen, Stephanie. So anyway, she basically throws down in Shane's face, yeah, so... Payback, Dad's gonna ultimately decide who runs the company. If it's anything like WrestleMania, no he won't! Anyone else smelling a brand split coming soon? I'd really like a brand split. Warring McMahon factions. Those are all things we've seen before, but at the same time, maybe toss up the stale format. Shane tells Stephanie to get out of the ring, call security. Yeah, in the first 15 minutes we got a security bit, no build up at all, just security right off the bat. Yeah. Security comes, takes Stephanie out. Stephanie does what she apparently is contractually obligated to do and slaps the shit out of one of the security guards. I like how Michael Cole, later in the night, tries to defend Stephanie, who's a heel. Michael Cole's supposed to be a face announcer, defense. Hey, she warned them not to touch her. And then the one guy goes to help her up the ramp, and she just unloads. He got smacked in the wrong area, too. She could have broken his nose. The way he was facing it just looked so brutal and just... Again, it's a guy, and the guys can't hit girls now in WWE. Not that they should just openly be hitting women, but if they get hit, or if it's an intergender match, we should be able to see that like in the old days. I don't like this. It makes it so that women heels can't get payoffs or comeuppance for screwing with face guys. It muddles the whole idea of certain storylines. This is not really a storyline with Steph, but this is a big thing she's been doing recently, and she can't get a fucking payoff because of it. So we move on to the first match of the night, AJ Styles versus Sheamus. And they were really plugging this match to start Raw, and I don't know why, because Sheamus, if I'm being honest. Look, I love AJ. AJ could put on great matches with pretty much anybody. Apparently, pretty much anybody doesn't include Sheamus, because I thought this was a really, really weak match. The blows they were giving each other, the strikes were terrible. There was a double foot corner kick from Sheamus where he's just in the turnbuckle and just... And the way that it hits is just like... He goes to the ground, AJ. It didn't look that impactful, and they re-aired it multiple times, even slow-moing it once. What are you doing? That was not even close to one of the more impactful or painful-looking moves. Sheamus does this fucking backbreaker twice, and the first time it looks gross and he just sits there, and the second time he hits it and AJ basically bounces off of his fucking knee. Use that for the replay. There was a move, I don't remember what move Sheamus was going for, but they're both on the top rope. Sheamus goes for an avalanche move, I don't remember what it was. AJ reverses it into an avalanche sunset flip onto Sheamus, which was beautiful. The way that AJ waits to hook the hips to spin that, like when you're over and you look like you're about to fall and break your neck and then he hooks the hips, I love how he hits that so crisply, I swear to God. AJ wins with, I believe, a phenomenal forearm. Rename the move! Rename the fucking move! But he wins, it's a pointless match, I think this was all really just a waste of fucking time. AJ's the #1 contender. He's not losing to Sheamus on a fucking pointless match on a Raw that's building up to this Sunday's pay-per-view. It's just not gonna fucking happen. If you want to argue maybe the first week of Raw before the pay-per-view build-up, fine, because then you could argue maybe, oh, we're showing AJ's weaknesses, but no, they weren't doing anything like that. If anything, they're making him look strong. He's not gonna lose this match, and he doesn't, and it was pointless. Luckily, whoever was booking tonight knew this match was gonna be They put a New Day and Enzo and Cass segment after this. Good booking. New Day come out being fucking New Day. Don't you dare be sour! Come out and they start talking about the Bootios sponsored tournament. Bootios. They make sure your gimmick doesn't get stale. Yeah, they get answered by the 2 finalists in this tournament, which I really love that both of the finalists are Enzo and Cass, vaudevillains, NXT guys, new guys. That's what you should be doing. The sad truth of this is I don't entirely know if they're going over. Either one of the vaudevillains or Enzo and Cass, whoever wins that, I don't know if they're going over on the New Day. It would make sense storyline-wise for the New Day to lose here, since if you see the end of this promo, you have Enzo and Cass heated, vaudevillains heated, and let's just take a moment to clap for fucking the artiste, Aiden English. That showed a little tonight, and I really liked that. But, I was trying to say, you have those two very serious and somber barking at each other, given that tension. As Xavier once put it, you could cut it with a knife! I love the New Day, but they're just having fun. That's the thing, they're having fun in the middle, while these two are very serious, and it's a shot that made me go, is that how they're gonna have them lose it? Enzo and Cass were fucking on fire tonight. NBA Jam on fire. Fucking... To see an entire crowd, an entire main roster arena do the, and you can't teach that, bada boom, like to see that on the main roster completely translate blows my mind. Vaudevillains came across very, very strong in this for me, surprisingly so. Not trying to knock them, but they're not the best charismatically or on the mic. English absolutely carries this promo. Gotch is okay. Gotch is fine. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing inherently bad. I feel like he should have a little more flow with what he's saying. There are times where I feel like he's very lispy or draggy with his sentences. I'm just making up words now. We transition to the next match of the night, and it's the Usos versus Anderson and Gallows. This is a good match. This was their in-ring debut, obviously not the Usos. It's Anderson and Gallows' in-ring debut. And top of the show, this is the thing that they kind of teased at Balor with. Top of the show, Shane says the line, we're going to see some new faces tonight. That's what I really thought was teasing Balor, because that would be a new face. We didn't see any new faces. I know what you were getting at. They haven't wrestled yet. This is their debut. We've seen them multiple times. We've seen their faces multiple times. Back to the match itself. This was a good match. If you followed NJPW at all, you'd know Gallows isn't probably the most interesting. He was in this match. Take a moment since the crowd didn't do it. Welcome back. I swear to God, Gallows must have the most gut fire I've ever seen in a person. It's just such oomph and vigor with every move he did that night, because once again he's had multiple gimmicks. He was fake Kane prior, in case you didn't know, during the May 19th storyline. Am I gonna die after saying that? Alright, thank God. I don't want another version of me popping in here and kicking the shit out of me. This showed like he deserves to be back. This showed he needed that excursion out in Japan and came back, and pure fucking heat, man, in a good way. You had a moment where Gallo pushes in one of the Usos. I'm never going to be able to know their names, sorry. Pushes one of the Usos to the outside from the top rope. Gross spill. The Usos up on the top, and to see that fall is just... It always reminds me of the TLC ladder spots where they would spill to the outside. How do you have hips? And Anderson and Gallows hits a Magic Killer for the win, which I like the Magic Killer. I'm not crazy about them using it. For Anderson and Gallows, I really think that kick, like flapjack combo, TKO, whatever you want to call that, that was a really, really well-fitting finisher for them, and it looked impactful and had burst to it and weight. It worked very well for them, and I don't like that they changed it back to Magic Killer. Yeah, and then they get beat on by Roman Reigns. Yeah, that happens. After the match, they start taking to the Usos, being the Biz Cliz, and I hate that nickname, by the way. I'm never saying that again. But they start beating on the Usos. Roman comes out for the save. I literally queued him in. I was in a party with shout out to Running Dog, and also Sexy Galaxy. We were all watching this, and I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, and now they're beating on them. Yep, okay, cue Reigns. Dead end. Reigns comes out, and here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on this. You had Reigns. Yeah, there's 3 people in the ring on Reigns' side. It was Reigns and the Usos. The Usos didn't get up. You had Reigns take out pretty much the Bullet Club. You really had them. They weren't fed to Reigns. They didn't both lose a match. They didn't both get laid out. They smartly and tactically retreated. And I was okay with that. It's just, this is starting to look like you're going to use them to get Reigns over. Fucking nip that in the butt right now. Bullet Club meets up with AJ backstage to say, our friendship is forever. That sounds so familiar. It's kind of like The Amazing Spider-Man, where they tried their hardest to not say with great power comes great responsibility, but instead they had Uncle Ben say pretty much the exact same thing in slightly different words. Our friendship is forever is in other words.
Bullet Club for life.
Yeah. They also make it seem like AJ's with them now, which they completely kind of poop on at the end of the show, or maybe he's just playing him. That's the thing with AJ, and I'm not trying to knock it. This is the one thing you can probably knock AJ for. He's not carrying his story properly. There are scenes where Bullet Club will walk in, and he's just, specifically the one where they first came out, and you see AJ standing there, and they walk behind him after giving him the pat. AJ's just standing there like, the face you could tell the second time I caught it. The face is supposed to be, what are you guys doing? Huh? After that, we get a beautiful, like, this is match of the night, and it's not even a match. The feud package for Zayn and Owens. These two can feud forever, in my opinion, from ROH, like, just keep it going forever. Beginning of this promo. Here's the thing I want to get into. Did anybody else get, like, a slightly, like, they're more than friends vibe at the beginning of this promo? We traveled together forever, and then he got married, and it's like, you guys seem like you're really close, if you know what I mean. The package really made Owens look just top-notch, god-level tier. Heel status. Just the absolute... Like, this is the max. He busted through it, killed everyone and their pets, skinned them alive, made a coat just to fucking throw it on a shelf and Pete a bucket it. That's how big of a heel he is. We move on to the probably the best match of the night in the next match, which would be Sami Zayn versus Rusev. Again, Sami is gonna fucking make match of the night wherever he goes. Just induct him now. Just induct him now, and anything he does past this is fucking gravy. Sami Zayn versus Rusev. Rusev is another one who's been getting the short end of the shit lately. Despite that, he's been the shining glory in all of the league segments. This is a good match. This is good, just right on the cusp of great. Not quite. They didn't have enough time, in my opinion. They didn't have enough of a flow or a story. They did, but it wasn't enough. It was all good. It was all acceptable. It just wasn't quite what you've come to know for these two people. These two together should make these two could make a match of the year candidate. I'm not kidding. If they gave them enough time and story and really built this the right way, these two are the future. Zayn goes for an over-the-top crossbody to the outside to the floor, and it's not like a huge distance, but if you know anything about momentum building up, the further you go, the worse it's going to be when you try to catch it. And Jesus, Rusev just catches him like he's fucking nothing. Just, oh look, a bag flowing in the wind. Zayn from the floor just jumps onto the barricade and does a beautiful moonsault off the barricade. Does this better than Kenny Omega, and I love Kenny Omega. I should say it's more fluent, not better, I guess. Zayn, without a doubt, has the single best flying crossbody in this business. They even like show it again, and it's like, look at the height that this man gets. Look at it. It's fucking unreal. Talked a little too much about Zayn. I want to give a little more on Rusev here. Rusev's jumping super kick it's beautiful in its own right. It's probably my favorite super kick, I think, ever. I might be saying that, and I've been a fan for a long time. The jump he adds with it, that he jumps and then transitions it like almost midair into a super kick. I think I know how you rolled your ankle. It was really smart having Zayn win with the roll-up. It protects his underdog position, his status. It makes Rusev look better because, oh, I fucking lost by this much. You weren't better than me. You got lucky. And that's the mentality a heel needs to protect. Keep that in mind for Bray. Also, to help the underdog mentality and the heel mentality for not only Rusev, but Owens. Owens attacks him from behind, destroying him. I don't think there's anybody who could fucking attack from behind like Owens. I've been pointing out the strong suit. I don't think anybody can blank a lot in this review, but it's all hitting me. The next segment was just a really, really weird segment as far as, well, honestly, on multiple levels. You'll hear, I'll just get into that right now. Fuck it. You have a weird segment with Apollo Crews and Stardust, who are having a match tonight, and Apollo's just like, I'm Apollo, and all I do is smile. By the way, am I the only one who thinks this? Apollo Crews. Don't hate the name. It's a little on the weird side that you would do that. Apollo and Terry Crews. Weird. Fine. Does anybody else think, like, you remember Antonio Cesaro, and then they dropped Antonio, and the same with Adrian Neville, and now he's just Neville? Apollo would be the single one that I think works. I would love to see his name just be Apollo. You have a really weird segment with Apollo and Stardust acknowledging / breaking kayfabe. You have Apollo who's just standing there like always doing his Apollo things. I'm happy about the world. I can breathe, and I'm this and I'm that. Yeah, smiles. Yeah. So you have him doing that, and then Stardust walks in, and he starts talking to Stardust like, oh, Cody, it's good to see you. And like, dude, don't call me Cody. And then they even say a line like, Dusty's a great guy. He actually helped me come up with my name, Apollo. Woo! 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 I need to go for a walk. That's the thing. I'm weirded out by this. I don't like that. Wrestling's about larger than life, not about explaining the business. Exposing the business. But in all seriousness, that was weird. It was a weird segment all around. Then you have Apollo versus Stardust, which was a good match. It was a good match. Better than the segment before it. Apollo shows his speed early with his normal stuff. He has his flips and his rolls, including an effortless standing moonsault. And I think Apollo's finish is very interesting. I really much like his finish. You set it up almost like you're about to do an atomic drop. They're facing this way, you get your arm under them, you hold them up like this, their legs are straight up, and then instead of dropping them down on your knee, you just basically flip them over and into a power bomb, and it's really, really clever, really nice. I like it. It's not anything like anything else on the roster, and he finishes with that for a win. Then we have Ambrose come out and cut a nice promo on Jericho, except when he says that he'd never attack someone from behind and that Jericho's a coward for it. So we're just forgetting the Shield ever happened. Okay, alright. I remember them jumping a lot of people. Alright, whatever, that's fine, that's fine. You're liars! You're fucking liars! Jericho comes out to respond. I elevate you just being in the same ring as you. You stupid idiot! He says... What follows is the words, you stupid idiot, shut up, and fucking those in different combinations. Like 50 to 60 times while just beating on him. Oh my god, I love... Jericho is a fucking class act, man. My favorite was between each punch, just, you stupid idiot! You stupid idiot! You stupid idiot! You stupid man! I love how worked up he gets. Going back to what he said, though, he does technically elevate Dean by being in the ring with him, especially since he's been coming off a lot of his, shit in the positive rather than negative. As these segments usually do, like the Ambrose Asylum, the Piper's Pit, they're contractually obligated to break into a fight, so they do, leading to that moment that I spoke of, and you end with a table tease, but you end, instead of going through the table, you end with a walls on the table. I never was a big fan of that. Doing a submission on the table... Why? If you can do a submission on the table right after it, why don't you put him through the table and then do a submission on top of the remains? That might have looked a little better. Broken, like the table you lay upon. Like that could work. Setting up the feud, I like it. It's okay. It's well done. Dean is not one of my favorite people. He's great, he's good at what he does, I wish they'd give him more than just... I'm a comedic bit. Yeah. Next up, we have Natalya versus Emma. Another good match. Another good match. Emma, and the past few times I've seen Emma just keep proving it. She's ready for the main roster now. I don't think she was originally. Now she very clearly is. Weird Saiyan armor type shoulder pads. Really like that too. I mentioned it at Mania, I believe. I'm gonna keep mentioning it. I like that. Very, very, very suited for her character now, which is just so different from what it used to be. Charlotte on commentary during the match, literally hiding behind Rick. I love that. That was amazing. Can someone please explain to me what this is? I need to know. I genuinely... Is that how he keeps the blood flowing in his body? Is that why he's still alive? Is that why he would bleed as much as he did? Or is that just him filtering cocaine into his bloodstream? Yeah, just keep it going from the 80s. Emma, beautiful double underhook suplex on the floor. When Emma hits like something like a suplex or a powerbomb, it's disgusting to me that WWE has trained us in a way where we think that's a major thing for divas to be doing. Oh my god. Freudian slip, I'm sorry, I'm talking about shit. Women's wrestlers doing. After a nice clothesline by Emma, who came across very strong, very competent in this match, Natalya wins by a sharpshooter. Yeah, good match, building her. That's the thing with all these matches, is you were like, yeah, okay, there's no storyline that really shows that any of them could actually potentially lose. They all seemed like they were gonna win, building hype and momentum for their match. So that they could probably all lose that, because that's a possibility at this point. They seem like they very much like Charlotte as their champ. They seem like they like New Day as their champ. They seem like they really like Roman as their champ. We get a beautiful video of Chyna in Memoriam, and once again, her doing the Royal Rumble, being the first female participant in the Rumble, eliminating Mark Henry. Just the feud with JJ, Jeff Jarrett, all the great moments she had. Really nice video package. Let's not bullshit. Put her in the Hall of Fame next year. So after that, we have Damien Sandow versus Baron Corbin. And I didn't give a rating to this match, and that's not because I'm forgetful, that's because the match didn't happen. Damien Sandow, we come back from commercial, he's already in the ring. Damien Sandow, you hear a little of his music, which was the intellectual Savior of the Masses music, which, good, I really liked that gimmick, don't know why we scrapped it. You have Corbin coming out. I've never been so happy to see someone job to Corbin in my mind. Oh, Sandow, at least we get to see him on television. He doesn't even get a match. He's on screen for literally 2 seconds, doesn't get a match, gets a pop still. So why, I don't get it. Why are we not pushing him? Ziggler runs in and ruins our one chance of Sandowment. Miz and Maurice came out to hype the Cesaro match, and this was really late, by the way. This happened I think this happened at 10:45, and I'm like, are we doing a 10-minute main event? What's going on? Why we're going really over tonight, huh? So Miz and Maurice come out to hype the Cesaro match, which was actually a great promo. It's a lot of heat on Miz. That's because he's getting the heat on himself. People hate him for no reason. When he's delivering a heel promo, he's like no other. He's spot on. The problem is I don't think he works well with others, and it shows in this promo, because when he and Maurice are in the ring, and he's just, yeah, isn't that right, Maurice? Yeah, they kiss, and it's, perfect heel stuff. Everything about it worked so well. Then Cesaro comes in, and Cesaro's lines worked well, Miz's lines worked well, but when they came together, it just didn't click for me. Cesaro's response was perfect. The "you belong in Jackass." That all worked. The only movie you belong in is Jackass. That's what it was. That worked. That almost felt like an Attitude Era comeback, in that it wasn't well written, but it still worked, and it would probably pop the crowd. It wasn't this big, oh, he's a genius, but it worked for Cesaro. I love that he's James Bond. I love that he's the professional. I think that's a great gimmick. The De Niro lines just didn't work for me. And then we do a Clint Eastwood line, which once again won. Alberto Del Rio, this is our main event, versus Roman Reigns in an okay match. It was okay. Del Rio with a gross stomp from apron to the outside. You had Reigns, who was bar backed, just bent over, and then you have Del Rio just do his double, basically a coup de grace from Balor to the back. Loved that. Gross. Bullet Club with a distraction for Del Rio. Reigns kicks out at 2. Why? Then why even have him roll him up? For a fucking fake out that we all knew wasn't gonna happen. Don't stop doing false finishes, but make them believable. You have to have a person who can lose to a roll up. Reigns wins, and it's the new Lul Cena wins, so just get used to it. And he's beat down by the Bullet Club after the match. AJ comes in, calls them off. Hey, stop it, cut it out. I don't want your help, blah, blah, blah. And then gets beat up by Reigns. What? He clearly stopped them. And I know you saw him stop them. He even didn't attack you. He's like, okay, you okay, you're alright? He's saying something to you. No fucking logic whatsoever. The dumbest way to send this off. Legitimately, the dumbest way you could have sent this show off. Really thought I was going to get more than this for this Raw. I won't lie. That being said, I don't think it's a bad Raw. All the matches were good. There wasn't any story that was so obnoxious that it made me want to stop watching, like a typical Raw. Well, not the new typical. The old typical. I do see this as this episode feels like starting to phase back into the old mentality, though, and that worries me. Wasn't a bad Raw at all. It was a good Raw. In fact, go watch it. Good Raw. Maybe go for the Hulu 2-hour version rather than the 3, but yeah. Good Raw, no major problems. I just think that there's a lot of stupid little things in there that just really bother the fuck out of some people. If they continue Raw in this direction with the NXT superstars, this is a new genre, a new era. They even mentioned new era, and I said a few weeks ago, I didn't review it, I said it to Running Dog, the guy who was watching this with me. I said it to him. This feels like we're in a transition period for a new era. Join us next week if you can. Click the little arrow down there that'll open up the words, which will tell you what we're doing next week. I think I fucked up last week. I think I said Lucha Underground. Surprise! It won't happen again that way. I'll go back and edit it if I fuck up again. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. If you can, hit like and subscribe. I've been your host, as always, J Beard Stereo. And... Where's my graphic? Where's my graphic?